Hello YouTube, Red Reptiles here with another video, and in this video we are going to prepare for Hurricane Helene or Tropical Storm Helene. It is hitting the northernmost point of Florida, going through North Florida, of course, through the top of the state. I am located in South Florida, so fortunately we will not be getting the eye of the storm, the very intense parts, but I still want to prepare for some flooding because, as you guys know, in a light rain here in my yard, the tortoise enclosures do end up flooding. So right now we're going to start off with goobs and gabs because I got to wrangle them up, put them in the shed. I will also explain about why I won't put like the iguanas inside, but I'll also show you guys how I put the tortoises away, how I do this, and I also want to talk a little bit about responsibility when it comes to keeping animals. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and let's get started. All right guys, so it is around almost 7 p.m. here in my area, and the reason why I'm doing this so late is because I am a graduate student at a university here. So I was at school all day. I like to kind of wait until the last moment to make sure that I go ahead and put my animals in because we want to go ahead and monitor the weather. Right now, I would say it's the calm before the storm. We are projected to get a lot of heavy rain tomorrow. So I'm just going to go ahead and put them in tonight so I can cause the least stress possible, because believe it or not, even though these guys are not inside all the time, it is a very stressful kind of moment for them. This is Goobs and Gab's elevated shelter. The other tortoises will be going inside. I have yet to build them something kind of like this. Honestly, this is super ugly already. It's very battered down because they break through it, but it's elevated enough to where the water does not reach. If you guys have seen my old videos and on my Instagram, the water can get sometimes up to about my ankle. They have their burrows, one in this corner, one in that corner, and they have these mounds that they can stand on. But if I can avoid for them getting wet and being cold for hours at a time, because this is these hurricanes, it'll rain down, we want to kind of avoid that. So I have this kind of rigged system where I block things off for them so they can't kind of destructively go out, because this is kind of a very thin aluminum metal, and these tortoises, if you guys know sulcatas, are very, very destructive and have no problem going ahead and breaking out of their habitat, especially that heated shelter. So it's not going to be heated because we're not in the winter yet. We have just hit the fall threshold here as a season, but these guys will go ahead and do okay. All right guys, so hope you enjoyed that small time lapse of me moving Goobs and Gabs. These guys are my only sulcata tortoises, at least the adults. I do have one hatchling, but that little guy will be available at the Reptile Expo coming next month. Like I said, they are in this elevated shelter. It is elevated up with cement blocks, and it's on top of a concrete pad as well. They do not need to have their heat on for this time period. I only want to keep them in here for about a day, maybe two, pushing it. I did not feed any of the animals outside today, which is their scheduled feeding day. Rather, I waited and held off just because I do not want them to be wasting their energy on digesting foods. More so, I want them to kind of just chill out, make sure that they're going to be okay, which I know they will be, and they will also be being monitored throughout the entire time that they do this. Now, Goobs and Gabs do have the ability to kind of break out, but since it is kind of nighttime, they're going to go ahead and fall asleep in here. And then tomorrow morning, if it is raining heavily, they realize these things and they know not to kind of mess around with what's going on. As you can see, once again, I have rigged it very nicely so that they can basically stay put within this setting. And if you see right here, there's just excrements of old hay, because this is my hay storage, and they can go ahead and nibble on that. It is not dirty, it's just kind of old hay. So these guys will be okay. I'm not worried about them being in their elevated shelter. And now we got to move on to setting up the tubs and then basically getting the aldabras and radiateds and all the other tortoises that are outside. All right, so you guys saw Goobs and Gabs. Here is Mando, Meg, and the 2 Redfoots and 1 Yellowfoot. These guys are going to stay here. This is very structurally sound. Obviously, we just finished redoing all the wires and things. We are not getting, hurricane winds, and it's going to be very mild in my area, so please keep that in mind. If it was any more severe, I would go ahead and put these guys inside tubs inside the reptile room, but I don't need to do so. They are going to be okay. They have handled storms in the past. They even handle the cold. I do not go ahead and put these guys inside when it gets too cold. As long as they have the ability to heat themselves back up, which they do because they are in direct sunlight, they are going to be okay. So in all these clips, you guys are going to hear me say that responsibility is key, but it's also knowing what is going on. It is weather, so it is unpredictable. So in the case that it does pick up, I will go ahead and come back out here and adjust as well. But they will be monitored, they will be kept an eye on, and like I said, we just went ahead and refinished this, so I'm very, you know, confident in the skills of my father and I, and fingers crossed that does not backfire on us either. All right, guys, so as you can see, space is very limited now in the reptile room. You guys saw in the last video, we moved Buster to this area. We got Nemo, the flower horn, and the fish tank. Louie and Kalisa are not in here for the hurricane. We just have guests over, so they're going to be in the reptile room just so because there's food and stuff outside, and my family doesn't want to, you know, worry about the dogs. So we have set up all the tubs. We're going to go get more tubs outside. I got tubs here, tubs all over the place. A little bit of a rundown for the reptile room. Jungle is going to stay there. Obviously, the lights will be on and off depending on if I lose power or not, but we're not expected to. We got the ball pythons there. The Doomerals, the iguanas are doing good. One sulcata, Chinese box turtles, bearded dragon. Like I said, lights are dependent on if we lose power or not, but people will be here to monitor. There's Buster. He's going to remain inside because if there's too much high winds, he is a bird. We don't want him to go anywhere and obviously get picked up by some breeze over there. So these tubs, if you notice, are empty. There's nothing on the bottom, and that is on purpose because tortoises will 100% poop in these tubs. So tomorrow, whether it be in the morning or when I come back from any activity, I will go ahead and just replenish the tub, take the tortoise out, wash them down, rinse down the tub, put them back in there, and for a day or two they will be okay. To not worry about UVB or anything like that because these animals have been outside obviously months at a time, weeks at a time, years. So a few days without UVB exposure is going to be okay. The weather will improve, and therefore these tortoises will go back outside as soon as possible. So you guys saw a time lapse of me kind of moving things around. Had to move Buster. Things are crazy. The day was long, but we're here and we're doing this because back to the point that I was saying at the beginning of the video, we assume responsibility for the animals that we care for and things that we do. All right, so we are in the side where the Aldabras and the radiateds are. We also got some Russian tortoises and one leopard. All these animals will be going inside because this habitat right here floods not as much, but it has some areas that are lower than others, and those do actually pick up some water. So like I said, I want to avoid all these things because I am responsible for my animals and I have the ability to do so. I'm going to go ahead and put them inside. So we have 3 Aldabras here, 1 bigger radiated. Those are going to be going first. Then we'll move on to the smaller radiateds, then the Russian, then the leopard tortoise as well. So those are things that we're going to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and pick these guys up, put them inside that reptile room, and we'll jump back and forth on clips for those animals. All right, so here is Aristotle. This is my largest Aldabra tortoise. We're going to go and bring Aristotle inside the reptile room. As you guys saw, I set up the tubs, and this is what I was talking about, just assuming responsibility for the animals that you have. So Aristotle is actually growing significantly, if you guys have seen from the arrival of this animal on my YouTube channel. And, you know, it gets heavier. I'm getting out of breath because it's heavy to hold, so we're going to go ahead and put it in the reptile room. All right, guys, so here are all of the younger radiated tortoises. This is just a temporary transportation tub. Some of them will remain in here. The others will be separated into other tubs, but just gonna give you guys a little bit of an update on how big some of these have gotten. The benefit of moving them in and out sometimes, you can actually just kind of check them out individually, see how they're doing. They're obviously a little bit dirty because they've been in the dirt and the mud over there. As you can see, the night has caught me a little bit. It's a long process showing everybody, you know, these animals too, making sure these animals are going in their right tubs, quality control as well. So as you can see, these guys are getting absolutely massive. This is my oldest radiated of the smaller ones. These are following them, but as you can see, there's different sizes, different growth periods, and how they basically, you know, eat, and they each grow at their own pace, but they're all beautiful and healthy. And as you can see, we got some beautiful shells going on, even with the ones that have a little bit of pyramiding. They've all grown up the same, so it's nothing on the way that I'm caring for them. It's just the way that they are genetically, you know, created, made up, and that's how they are growing. All right, guys, so all the animals are inside the reptile room. Here we got the smaller radiated tortoises. As you can see, there's already pee and poop. I will deal with this in the morning. They're gonna be okay for a little bit. Here is one of the Aldabras. This one is Plato. There is Chalice. Here is Aristotle in the bigger tub, of course. We got the leopard tortoise right here. We got the pair of Russians, the larger of the smaller radiateds. Then we got Victoria. There's Buster. All the snakes, of course, iguanas, smaller tortoises, Chinese box turtle, bearded dragon. There's Jungle as well. Of course, we got Nemo. Everybody is okay inside here. I've already cut off the lights for some of these animals just to kind of make sure that it's nice and dark in here, and to, you know, give them less stress as possible. This is a kind of stressful move for them. They're not completely used to it. It doesn't happen often, but they have been through this before. They're gonna be okay. I know they are, you know, well fed, well maintained in the sunlight, of course. And if they pee and poop, we will deal with that as that comes. So here is all the animals inside. The dogs are just kind of hanging out with them for now. And we are gonna continue on checking everybody outside. So everyone is gonna be in here, like I said, for about a day or two. Everyone's gonna be okay. I will be here throughout the entire process, monitoring all these animals, of course. I just wanted to kind of give an expression out there and or express myself to everybody and give my thoughts and prayers to those that are dealing with these animals or dealing with this weather up in the northern Florida. Hurricanes are a scary thing. While sometimes we come out very lucky, a lot of times areas do get impacted more severely than others. So, you know, fingers crossed everything is okay. And like I said, best of wishes to those out there dealing with this weather. This is just kind of a very precautionary tale for me. I'm doing this for my own peace of mind. I don't want to have to wake up in the middle of the night and be like, wow, my tortoises are going to be in water for a few hours. And that just to me doesn't sit right. So like I explained, you know, and I reiterated throughout this entire video, being a responsible pet owner is very, very important. So if you have the ability to do so, just go ahead and do it. Being lazy is not a quality to have when dealing with animals. If you have 1 or 2 animals, bring them in. The cat is even going to come inside. He free roams the yard and kind of hangs out with the animals. Obviously, the dogs stay inside. Fishes in the tank. Everybody that needs to be inside is inside. And like I explained previously, if the weather does pick up too much, even goobs and gabs, even the iguanas and the redfoots, I'd go ahead and make some space. Probably not in here because they don't fit in here anymore. But there's a whole garage on the other side of the wall that we're just going to go ahead and put them in there and deal with it. So bird is good, everybody's good, and this was a very dirty process. The boots were on just because dramatic effect, and yeah, we did see some lightning already, you know, kind of start in the sky, but no weather yet, so we will be monitoring it, and of course you can see some more frequent updates on my Instagram. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope you guys understood that responsibility is key with keeping animals and kind of showing you guys the process that I go through when I do experience some inclement weather. This same process goes for when it's too cold, when it's wet and cold, when it is either maybe sometimes way too hot, although we do have shaded areas in the habitat to kind of prevent that. But any type of inclement weather that is unexpected, this is kind of what I go through. I am licensed by Florida Fish and Wildlife, so these are protocols that I go through for the safety of my animals and for my own peace of mind as well. So I've been more active here on YouTube. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content. As always, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, give your opinions in the comments, give me video suggestions. I'm gonna be making some merchandise here soon, so if you guys are gonna catch me at that Reptile Expo next month, go ahead and pop out. You guys can say hi to me, maybe pick up some animals for myself, or just kind of, you know, hang out and enjoy the show. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much once again, and I will see you, my fellow herpers. Stay safe.